renaming yourself. It'll help us see who's here from the different schools. So thank you. All right, Vegeta, if you can go ahead and move to the next slide. Yeah, so thanks for joining us tonight. It's just an information and virtual mixer night for our global health case competition. So I'll start off just with some introductions. My name's Joanna. I am one of the medical student co-coordinators along with Sana, who is here. So we are, coordinating this along with some faculty. So any questions throughout, can be directed our way. And I also we're joined by Dr. Cecily Gallup and Dr. Tracy Wells. So I just want to turn it over to them so they can briefly introduce themselves to you all as well.
Great, thank you so much. So I'm Cecily Gallup. I'm fulfilling the roles of the Global Health Program Director for this year. So it's wonderful to see all of you. Thank you for joining us. I also wanted to give a huge thank you to both Sana and Joanna for taking leadership in this year's case competition. And I've been involved for the last couple years. It's been really wonderful to watch students from all throughout campus, from all different disciplines work together and collaborate on this competition. So thank you, and I hope you have fun and meet a lot of interesting people through this. So I'll just pass this along to Tracy Wells. I think it's on the call.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for making time for this. I am the Director of Education with the Global Health Program and in the David Geffen School of Medicine. I've been working with the case competition and in some capacity since the beginning of the time that we've held it at UCLA. And I was able to serve as a judge at USC before we brought it to UCLA. And it's really exciting to see the real world solutions that you all come up with in response to these cases. I think it's really valuable learning experience in addition to being fun in that it's a competition and there are things to win and you can go to another, to the next level and go to Emory. So it's very exciting. You'll learn a lot more about that from Sana and Joanna going forward. Thanks for being here.
Great. Thank you both for being here as well. All right, Vegeta, if you could go to the next slide. Yeah, so tonight we did our introductions, and then we're just going to start by introducing what a case competition is, what is unique about it, because it is a very unique opportunity. So we want to make sure that we, make it very clear what it is and what opportunities come along with it. And then we'll leave some time for question and answers, and then also do a breakout room so that you can meet other people here, because part of the really cool thing about a case competition, it requires a interdisciplinary team, so students from different schools. So it's important that you meet some people and form those teams. So, and just before we get started, we just want to say thank you to all of the faculty and leadership at all of the different schools here at UCLA. Like I said, the case competition is interdisciplinary, so we could not do it without, faculty advisors and students from all of these different schools. So, thank you to them for helping us spread the word and really helping us make this competition so special. Okay, so the UCLA Global Health Case Competition mission. So our mission is to facilitate student networking, mentorship, and real-world problem-solving opportunities through collaboration in multidisciplinary teams that will develop innovative solutions to complex global health issues. So if you want to go on to the next slide. So this, with that mission, why should you participate? So the case competition presents a unique opportunity to meet students from, the broader UCLA community. A lot of times I'm a med student, we're kind of in South Campus, around other med students. So this is a great opportunity to use your skills and your knowledge, with other UCLA students from different schools, whether that undergrad, public health, business, law. So it's a really cool opportunity to meet people. Also to form relationships with faculty. So in the case competition, we will have faculty advisors from variety of different schools and areas of expertise that will be available to help guide you as you're coming up with your solution to the case that will be presented. So not only, short-term relationships, but to start forming, long-term relationships with these faculty and mentors, as you move on in your education and your career. And also an obvious one, but still, so important to point out is just to learn more about global health issues and to learn to think, grow your skills in thinking critically about these issues, because global health is so much more than just health, which is why we bring in, all of these, amazing people from these different schools, because it is, there's law, policy, business, engineering aspect to all of these cases and all of these issues. And also the winning team from UCLA will have a chance to participate in the International Emory Global Health Case Competition. And there is a cash prize, which, is never a bad thing, and, would be a great reward for the hard work. And just a note on Emory. So the past couple of years, it had been virtual due to COVID. So this is their first year transitioning back to an in-person model. So we're not exactly sure on, how that will be formatted. We'll be, keep you up to date as soon as we know all that information. But yes, there would be an opportunity to travel to Emory for that international competition, which would be in March. Next slide, please. Great. And this is just, a little bit more on how this participating in the competition has impacted people who have done it in the past. So, people have used these skills far beyond the case competition, talking about it in job interviews, really mastering working on a team and, thinking critically, solving problems. These are all skills that are transferable to, anything and everything you'll do in life. So it's a really, really cool opportunity and a really cool space to learn and to, have that space to grow and, make mistakes and make corrections and get guidance along the way. So it is a really, unique opportunity. You can go to the next slide. Great. So now we'll talk a little bit more about what exactly a case competition is. So the case will be presented to you, and the case is a 10 to 20 page document that presents a real world global health challenge. So the case, we'll release that at a much later date, but some past examples are addressing electronic nicotine delivery, creating palliative care systems in Southeast Asia, sanitation solutions, just to name a few. And multidisciplinary teams analyze the case and create a proposed solution to the challenge. And the really cool thing about a case competition is there is no right answer. So solutions to consider could be engineering, innovations, management, law and policy, global and national finance and economics, and public health frameworks. So this competition really gives you a lot of freedom to be creative in your solutions and to really, use all your team members' unique skill set to come up with something truly unique. It's a lot of times it's nice to have this freedom of creativity because, there's not one right answer, which is awesome. Next slide. So here is a sample case, just so we can give you a real example of what it would look like. So this is the case that was used at the Emory International Competition in 2020. So it was government policy and effective initiatives for the eradication of measles. So the case was set in the year of 2030. The case prompted 28 teams to serve as representatives from one of the World Health Organization's member countries. So teams were challenged to develop a detailed nationwide policy and program that controlled the spread of the measles outbreak, provided supportive care for those that were infected, and prevented future outbreaks. So with this this particular case, each team was assigned one of these countries listed here. And each country kind of had its own unique framework, like different budget allocated for each country that kind of fit the constraints of and the realities of where they were being asked to come up with a potential solution. So they were provided background on measles, budgets, and we want to stress that this competition isn't only for medical students. So any medical information that would be needed to make, to come up with a solution would be provided. So you don't need any, particular medical background. And they were provided country-specific information and data, helpful graphics to come up with that solution. And each case also includes a case twist, which I know we'll get into a little bit later, the timing when that happens. Sana will talk about that. But the case twist here was you had the application of the measles outbreak to existing maternal and child healthcare models. So, you initially come up with a solution to the case, and then a case twist is presented, and then you have to kind of think on your toes on how you would adapt to this new information that was given to you.
Yeah, so to give you some overview of how all of this is going to work. So this is our first mixer for you guys to meet people from other schools. We'll have a second mixer in early January, and the dates for this will be released later on. We'll keep you updated as we come up with the date. The case will be released on January 27th at 8 a.m. And each team will have the following week to prepare, during which you will have the opportunity to meet with faculty advisors and come up with a plan. And the winning team will represent UCLA in the International Emory Global Health Case Competition on March 10th through 18th next year. And most of the costs for attending the Emory Case Competition will be covered by UCLA. And more details about this will come out as the next year comes around. So if you can go to the next slide. Yeah. And so what happens during the competition weekend? So the teams will submit a 10-minute video accompanied by a one-page executive summary on February 3rd by 12 p.m. And it's very important I emphasize here that the video is no longer than 10 minutes or the team will be disqualified. So then video needs to be up to 10 minutes only. The team with the highest first round scores will be announced the morning of Saturday, February 4th, and they will move to the finals. The number of advancing teams will depend on the number of teams that register. The case twist will be presented. So this is the case twist that Joanna talked about earlier. There will be a quick case twist. We'll present that to you for the final round. And then you'll do a final round of presentations. The teams will have an hour and a half to incorporate the case twist into their presentation. And these final teams will present in person live for 10 minutes and engage in a 5-minute Q&A with judges on Saturday, February 4th. So if you can go to the next slide. And so the registrations for those who are here now are open now. There will be a link we'll provide at the end of this slide, but then we will also send out links via email tomorrow morning, so other people can start registering tomorrow morning. Individuals or teams can register by January 15th, 2023 at 5 p.m. And it's, I just want to say that if you don't have a team with you right now, you can still register as an individual, and we'll pair you up with people from other schools if that's a dilemma you run into. But the teams need to comprise of around 4 to 6 members from at least 3 different UCLA schools. And all of these members should be current undergrad or graduate students to be eligible to participate in this competition. And And all members of each team must be available and present on February 4th next year for the UCLA competition, and between March 10th through the 18th for the Emory competition, to travel to Emory. The exact dates of the Emory competition will be coming soon once Emory announces them. Next slide, please. And just to emphasize how the teams need to incorporate at least 3 different schools, here's an example. So you can have at least one person from the School of Letters and Sciences who's a UCLA undergrad. You can have one person from DGSOM and one from Fieldings, and that would be enough to form a team. There are other examples of schools listed here from undergrad and graduate different divisions that can comprise a team as long as they are from different schools. Next slide. Yeah, then if you guys have any questions, please put them in the chat, or you can ask them now and we can try to answer them. And if not, we could also go into breakout rooms next. So I'll give you guys oh yeah, and here are the links. So the second link is the registration for the case competition, and there is a QR code over there in the lower QR code.
Yeah, and if you have any questions at any time, our emails are there. Also, like, be on the lookout for an email about the mixer in January. We're hoping to do it in person, which would be a great time to meet, to really finalize your teams. So just, continue to spread the word, tell your friends about the competition, and yeah, so as soon as we have the date set for that in-person mixer, we'll be sure to send that out.
I see there's a raised hand, Geronimo. Do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, thank you so much for the presentation. I just had a quick question. What's the interaction with the mentors like?
Yeah, so we have mentors from various different schools who have signed up for an hour or 2 slots during the week that we will send out that information to people who participate later on. And so you'd have 1 to 2 hours for that week of the competition that you can meet with them to discuss your ideas and how you're going to proceed, and they can advise you on that. They do not have any special expertise on the case that we will present per se, but they have expertise in global health overall, so they will be able to help.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, and just one more note about the faculty advising. It can be in Zoom or in person, so whatever works for you and your team, that can be set up with the faculty advisor.
Is it possible for us to register like by ourselves right now, and then once we form a team, register again before the deadline?
Can help answer that. You can definitely go ahead and do that. And I would just suggest, I think Raheel, you registered last year, or I don't know if you were able to register. I just remember your name from last year, but you can definitely register as an individual. And then if you decide you do have a team, just have the one of your teammates submit a new application, and then you can yourself just send us an email and just let us know that, oh, I'm a part of the team and they've applied, and we'll make sure that you are included in that team's application.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, any other questions?
Thanks, Geronimo. Shall we start the breakout session?